Alright guys, welcome back to the channel here on Overdrive Reviews. Today checking out this stunning, this really sexy 2021 AMG GT53. This is the middle part of the lineup. It's a four-car, four-door sedan lineup from AMG, which is Mercedes-Benz performance division. The GT53 starts around $100,000. The GT43 is $10,000 less, around $90,000, and it is brand new for 2021. But again, today, just the 2021 GT53 is what we are looking at. Across the entire lineup, all-wheel drive is standard. So is sharp steering, fat wheels, fat tires, adaptive suspension. The price range of these insanely cool and super quick four-door coupes is just as amazing as the range of power. 362 horsepower for the GT43, all the way up to a mind-numbing 630 horsepower for the GT63S. Now that GT63S starts at, ready for this, $163,000. The new for 2021 GT43 starts around a very affordable $90,000. So today, again, checking out just the GT53. I'm borrowing this for a few hours from Sun Motor Cars in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. I can personally not drive this car because of liability reasons, and they probably don't trust me with a $121,000 car. But we'll give you a tour of the outside, a tour of the inside, give you all the specs, tell you all about this car, what makes it so cool, and give you an idea of what we think of the materials. This thing only seats 4 people, by the way, across the entire lineup. The point is combining practicality and comfort with the performance and thrill of a supercar sedan. These four-door coupes are big, and Mercedes-Benz is leading the pack. Before we get going, hit this video with a like and subscribe to the channel below, and I think it is time to get moving. Now, I want to start this review under the hood because that's the big question, right? The big talker. How good is this engine? 3.0-liter inline six-cylinder pumping out 429 horsepower, good for a 0 to 60 sprint of 4.1 seconds. Now, if you upgrade to the crazy expensive GT63S, that 0 to 60 sprint time decreases to an unbelievable 2.9 seconds. 1, 2, 3, you're already at 60 miles an hour. Just crazy, right? Under the hood of this, there's also an electric motor and a supercharger that combine to fill the gap before the turbo kicks in. It's not a large electric motor at all. It's like 1 kilowatt, I believe. It's not super powerful, but it does fill that gap before the turbo is spooling up at the very heights of its performance. This is a twin-turbo 3.0-liter inline six-cylinder, by the way. Twin-turbo, tons of power. It's just unbelievable the amount of power they've been able to pack under these hoods and the wide range of power options that are available. And by the way, the fuel economy isn't all that bad. You think it'd be crazy bad for being this large supercar. It's not that bad at all. 20 miles per gallon city is what Mercedes-Benz rates it as, and then 25 on the highway for a combined of 22. Not the best in the world, but when you're sprinting to 60 miles an hour in 4 seconds, I don't think it's all that bad. Alright guys, so if you've seen my other videos, you know that I love rims. I think they make or break a car, right? Well, this GT53 has insanely cool, insanely aggressive rims that just make you stop and stare. They grab your attention right away. 21 inches all around, AMG spoke or AMG forged cross-spoke black rims. They're just insane to look at. They don't show brake dust at all, so they always look kind of clean because they're already blacked out. This car does sit on Michelin tires all around. They're 315/30 ZR21s in the back, and they are 275/35 ZR21s in the front. Just because obviously the car has such a wide girth and it's all-wheel drive, you've got to have these larger tires in the back to make sure this thing stays planted to the road. There's also four-wheel independent suspension on this, which is just makes the car even more capable and more performance-driven. I love the way these rims look. Again, a big fan of rims on a car. They can make or break the way this thing looks. And the side profile with this white, especially, these really stand out. You can get rear-wheel drive as an option in drift mode on the GT63S only. At the push of a button, your four-wheel drive 4MATIC Mercedes-Benz AMG supercar becomes a drift mode capable car, which is just awesome. This car obviously does not have that option. And one more thing I want to talk about too is just how awesome these brake rotors and the calipers look. Obviously the AMG name on the caliper itself, but these brakes or these rotors are slotted and drilled all the way around to increase cooling, to make these brakes not as hot, because if you're going to be doing a lot of spirited driving, you got to make sure your brakes are cool. So there are drilled and slotted brake rotors all the way around on this car. So just as aggressive and catching of your attention, in my opinion, is the front of this car. Look at the size of this Mercedes-Benz Star. It is massive. It's the size of my hand. There is the integrated camera right there that you see, and down here in the grille you've got these integrated parking sensors as well, the AMG badging. Take a look down here actually if you can. These little vents that are now closed, but they do open and close to increase airflow through the engine, or to block airflow when the car doesn't need it. Obviously with a high performance engine you want to make sure there's as much air getting into the car as possible, into the engine as possible. Over here, let's check out these LED lights. They're multi-beam LED lights on both sides, obviously. Super bright, really tough to kind of see right now, but they look awesome whenever it's night outside. They're kind of like a nice blue hue. They're really, really great. I love just this front lip. Look how molded this is. It looks like, I don't know, a slice of cheese or something that's melting into itself. It's just incredible, the craftsmanship and the attention to detail that AMG has put into this G53. And then along the sides here, you got another one of those parking sensors integrated right into the side. Make sure you got all your parking knowledge everywhere you go. These front kind of wheel wells are almost flush with the wheels up front, which are just great. I think they really kind of make this car look girthy and wide all the way around. You get your turbo nomenclature and lettering and badges right there with your 4MATIC in as well. I love these glossy, high gloss black molding around these side mirrors here, and on the bottom you can see this, there is a camera as well for more 360 camera views. There's a nice light that illuminates the ground at night whenever you're approaching your car. And look at this, frameless doors all the way around. A lot of cars have these days. It looks really cool, super sporty, cuts down on obviously weight in the car, but also just gives it more of an aggressive look. And check out this thunk. Listen to this thunk. It sounds awesome. Yeah, it sounds really well built, really, really well done, and it is well done. And the same as in the back as well. This door is almost larger than the front. Look how long this door is. It's just insane. It sounds awesome. The window obviously moves up and down to make sure the door comes out and there's no wind coming in, no noise coming in, no rain coming in. Nice wide broad hips in the back as well. I mean, if you stand right here with me, you can almost look and see how wide these hips are. They're just insane on the back of this car. They extend out past the front by a good ½ an inch, I would say. It's just nuts. They look really, really cool. More integrated parking sensors here as well. One of my favorite parts about the back of this car, these rear wraparound LED lights. They're almost blacked out, even in the red sections. They look awesome. They flow right with the car's natural shape, I guess. They don't stick out any further than anything. They just look perfect. They're simple, but they're also not simple at the same time. They just look great. I think they look really aggressive, really, really powerful, and make this car really have that nice prowess it's supposed to have. The AMG badging here as well. A nice retractable wing up here on top, which obviously is up right now, but you can put that up and down, and it does increase obviously the control and keep the car planted to the road much more than it would be without it, right? Down here at the bottom, the rear diffuser does that as well. The GT63S has a much more aggressive, more I guess pronounced rear diffuser. This is okay, I guess. This is the mid-range GT after all. But check out these quad exhaust pipes. These are blacked out. They look awesome, super, super aggressive, super sporty, but they just look awesome. I think they really did a great job. There's AMG lettering, actually. Check out the top of these, actually. Look at this. They all say AMG on each one of them. Again, AMG wants you to remember you are driving a crazy, crazy cool car, a unique car, and I think Mercedes-Benz and AMG came together for a great overall design in this GT53 for 2021. Before we get inside this car, check out just how streamlined this thing looks. I mean, it's so smooth, so curvaceous, almost kind of like a bubble that was then molded onto a structure. It just looks awesome. You can tell how streamlined and how unbelievably aerodynamic this car really is. I mean, look how much this wheel well, this rear hip sticks out from the car. It just looks awesome. There's no way other to describe it than menacing, aggressive, sporty, thrilling. It looks just great. So this GT53 is really long. It's 199.2 inches long, 76.9 inches wide. So it's extremely long for a coupe, right? But it is 4 doors, obviously. And it's also a hatchback. Check this out. So a hatchback on a supercar, a 4-door coupe hatchback, right? There is 12.7 cubic feet of space back here with the rear seats up. They do go down, actually, to give you more hauling and stowing capabilities. But I think just this by itself is really kind of decent. Take a look in here, actually. It's not all that deep. My hand maybe goes down, I don't know, 1.5 feet, even at the furthest parts of it. But you've got your Burmester subwoofer back here as well, some straps to hold things in place. Really nice carpeting here as well in the back of this GT53. You've got your nice security cover so no one can check out your goods. But it's not the largest trunk you will ever find, but it is a hatchback, which makes it that much more capable and practical for families who want to maybe get somewhere pretty quick. So I can only describe getting into this car as a pure treat. I mean, look at this cockpit. You look like you're in a freaking plane. It's just nuts, right? My favorite part, I gotta say, is this steering wheel. It is just gorgeous. Carbon fiber inserts at the top and the bottom, a flat bottom sports steering wheel. It just feels insanely, it feels heavy, it feels well built, it feels sturdy. You've got, you know, your infotainment controls that control that screen over there. You've got this stuff here that controls that screen in front of you. But that screen up front, it's 2 separate LCD screens, and they're just massive. Super great coloring, super great quality, just awesome. So let's talk about some headroom, actually, though. So in the back, it slopes down the car's profile, obviously. So the back has about 38 inches of headroom. It's about 40 inches up here in the front. So if you're a taller person, the back seat isn't the best place for you. You definitely got to duck when you get into those rear doors. So here in the driver's seat, it's overwhelming, but so gorgeous all at the same time, right? Let's just start with something simple. The dash. Carbon fiber inserts right here on the dash in the middle section. You've also got carbon fiber inserts here on the door. You've got all of your seat controls, heated, ventilated seats. You can also control the right seat and their heated or ventilated controls from this seat as well if you want to. Just push this, and then you can change them, and it will change that seat. How insane is that, right? But up here, a large screen in the center for your gauge cluster with all kinds of information. Speedometer over here. You've got your lane keep assist at the bottom, AMG lettering. You're parked right now. The car is in Sport Plus. All kinds of different gauges you could ever want, right? Over here, the center infotainment screen. This is a Mercedes-Benz user experience, MBUX. MBUX is what they call it, MBUX. I'm sure different people have different things that they call it. But here on the steering wheel, this side controls that screen. This side controls that screen. And each one has a little mouse that you can swipe through things with, right? So like right now, I'm selecting different things. You select the center part, you can select the speedometer and change whatever you'd like. There's so much in there, I can't get to all of it. But rest assured, if you want to do anything in the gauge cluster, you probably can do it. Over here, same thing, just swipe on this little trackpad and you can swipe through different things. You can swipe through your audio, you can push your home button right here and go to home. You can also touch the screen if you'd like. And if those options aren't enough, you can also use this trackpad. And the trackpad will also go where your finger takes it, right? So under the performance and different track pace options, you've got to be near a track to do this one. If you click on it, it's going to tell you activation and use only on closed off tracks away from public traffic. And the car probably will not detect a racetrack near me right now, so it won't let me do it. Yeah, there are no tracks in this vicinity. So unfortunately, I can't do the AMG Racing app right now. But under like things like comfort, check this out. Let's go to comfort. You can change the massaging options as long as your car is equipped with that, right? You've got all different kind of settings and different customization options that you can do. You can also, again, scroll with this trackpad through whatever you'd like. This car does have the massaging seats and they feel incredible. Let's go back to home here, actually. Go back one button and let's go over to, I want to go over to the settings in the car. There we are. Push on that, and this option here, you can change anything in the car as far as assistance with the lane keep assist, the blind spot monitoring, different things with the vehicle itself, like the panel heating, the belt adjustment, the acoustic lock. Lights are also really, really cool. The ambient lighting in this, I think there's like 64 colors or something that you can actually change this car, their lights to. Maybe not 64. Maybe that was just in the GT. Maybe that was just in the higher end models. Oh no, there it is. Actually, 64 right there. You can change the lighting to be whatever you want on this large color wheel. How nuts is that? It's just crazy. Now, whatever you change it to, then obviously the lights up top, you really can't see because it's daytime, but the ambient lighting in the car changes then. 64 different colors that you can change in this Mercedes-Benz GT53. Let's go back here. And go to the brightness of all of it. You can also change the brightness of these colors and raise them up, raise them down, anything you want really, and you can do it. It's just nuts. I mean, look at this. The ambient lighting is everywhere. It's even in the door handles and the window switches. It's just stunning the amount of detail they've given to this car. The amazing 14-speaker Burmester surround system also thumps. It sounds incredible. Oh, the combination of the detail and the craftsmanship and the quality of the material in this car is just amazing. Under comfort, check this out. You click comfort, you can actually change the seat kinetics and how bolstered and how gripping the side bolsters are. All sorts of things, your lumbar, your dynamic seat. It's as active a seat as you could ever hope for, right? And you can change all sorts of things under kinetics. If you go to settings for each of the seats, you can then change whatever you want. So down to the seat feel, that's how much you can customize in this car. There's way too much. So another really cool thing you can do is if you go back to home, you can swipe up. See where it says themes right there? Swipe up on this, and there's different themes and different layouts that the car has pre-stored. So if you go to, let's go to, I think trip is really cool, because what do you want on a trip, right? You want navigation. And it'll pop up things that you would need on a trip. Your navigation, your fuel economy, maybe some maps that are stored in the car, your direction of travel, how fast you're going, things you would want for a trip. And, you know, it kind of corresponds to whatever theme you choose, right? So if you go to lounge, it's more relaxing. Maybe some nice music. This kind of has stayed the same, so that doesn't really change a whole lot with the lounge, but different themes for different things, right? Down here, you've got your climate control, which I love because the buttons are kind of like a piano style, piano key, I guess is the word for it. And check this out. Whenever you go up or down on the temperature, look at the gauges. So down for blue, turn it up for red. This would look much cooler at night, but look at that. Isn't that awesome? The whole vent changes. Look at them. Red, blue. It's so cool. And just the technology that goes into that is just nuts. And again, these change colors depending on what ambient lighting you set in the car. Now down here near the gear shifter, which is this thing right here, it's got the AMG logo stitched onto the top of this gear shifter for you. That is the gear shifter, by the way. Just put your foot on the brake and tap it back for drive, tap it forward again for reverse, the whole way forward, and then push the button actually for park. When you're in reverse though, check this out. Look at that surround camera look, a 360 view of where you are, right? One of my helpers is out there walking around right now, but you've got your parking sensors as well, and you've got all kinds of options for the camera view. Look at this, and it changes whatever you push, right? It's almost too much to choose from. There's so much to check in with. And the car will also park itself for you, if you are not a good parker, in parallel type parking situations. Put the car back in park by pushing this right here. All these options over here are your dynamic driving modes and different ways to customize it, right? So right now, I believe it's in comfort. If I push this, I think it's in comfort. Yep, so it's in comfort right now. There's the screen. And just push up on this button to make it change. So it's individual. You can customize each individual thing. This is for obviously wintry, wet conditions. Down for sport. There's that. Now listen whenever I change this to Sport Plus. It was subtle, right? Yeah, the exhaust changes. So whenever you do that down here, all this stuff changes as well. So right now is Sport. There's Sport Plus, and you can configure each thing. This is your suspension. You can make the suspension. Maybe you want to drive sporty but have comfortable kind of suspension. And there's the different options. It changes as you go along. This is your traction control. Over here is the exhaust. Listen to this. Not so much exhaust at all. Some exhaust, right? And it'll change up here too on your screen. Balanced, powerful. Balanced, powerful. How cool is that? And also, real quick before I forget to mention, look how clear and crystal clear this screen is. It's just insane how much better screens have gotten in 2021 in these models. It's just awesome. I love it. This trackpad is super easy to use. Like I said before, there's so much to get into in this MBUX system. It's almost overwhelming. It's impressively good, but there's so much in here. You can change the ambient lighting, the locks on the car. You can change how the locks sound when it does lock. You can change all kinds of things. The illumination light whenever you approach the car. There's almost too much to talk about. It's just crazy. Again, I love this steering wheel, this carbon fiber. Look at this. It just looks sleek. It feels amazing. I love the materials on the side here. Up top, I forgot to mention this, a leather wrapped dashboard up top. You got that nice carbon fiber inserts all along the dash. It wraps right around to go along with the door. These seats do have the massage option in them. They are ventilated and heated on both sides. You've got the AMG plate right there again. All kinds of reminders that you're driving a pretty freaking cool car. In the center console here, actually, before we get to the back, is a wireless charging pad. This is not a large storage space at all, so you're not going to be putting a lot in there other than maybe a phone and some pens or something. There is a USB-C port right there. There are two more down there where the key is. There's also, I believe this is a cup holder. Yep, cup holders are down there with the key. And this door actually closes right back up. There it is. It looks flush, right? This is a gorgeous center gear shifter area. I don't know what the actual term is for it, but everything feels exquisite. It feels sturdy. It feels well built. It feels quality. The material in this, the material build is just unmatched. It's unbelievably well done. Your different memory settings over here, leather stitching on the side of the door here. Everything is flush and contoured. It's just awesome. And these vents turn completely off depending on where you have it positioned. So in each one of them, they feel incredible. I know I keep using that word, but so many vents just feel crappy these days. These feel well built and well adjusted for being turned any which way. And up top, you've got your sunroof. It's nothing special. It's a pretty typical sunroof. There's the sky. There it is. And the back seats are right there. We'll get back there in a second, but I love this frameless little rear view mirror here. It's awesome. There's lots of things that make it look flush or make this car look sleek and flush, and this is just one small thing to add to that. A frameless all-glass rear view mirror. I love it. And again, you can't hate this at all. You cannot hate that steering wheel. Look at it. Oh, it's beautiful. I would buy just the steering wheel. All right, so here in the back, there's not a ton of room. Unfortunately, only two people can fit back here because it is a coupe after all, a four-door coupe. Keep that in mind. The seats, though, are super, super comfortable. They're really conforming, super bolstered as well to keep you in place during spirited driving. Nice black leather, perforated leather as well. They're not heated back here, but you do have some amenities, like you've got your USB ports in the center. You've got a little bit of storage space, your cup holders, circular air vents, some storage here, and the back of these seats. Really, really nice space back here because you do get to stare at the front cockpit area, which is always great. But again, if you're taller, I'm 6'2", this roof line does cut into your headroom, definitely for sure. About 38 inches in the back, about 40 inches up front. So if you're a taller person, keep that in mind if you're sitting in the back of one of these. I can sit here comfortably. This seat is up really, really far, but take a look at the back of this actually. This right here, these are the knee cutouts to make sure your legs have extra room. So if you're super tall, back seat probably not your favorite place, but again, a comfortable place to be nonetheless. Well, that is all the time we have today for this review of this 2021 GT53 from AMG and Mercedes-Benz. A stunning car all around. I gotta say, I'm kind of bummed we couldn't get it out on the road, but again, liability reasons from the folks here at Sun Motor Cars in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Too much for them to let it just go with anybody, which I totally understand. But again, if you like this video, hit it with a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel below. We've got lots of things coming up in the weeks ahead. I hate to say goodbye to this thing, but it is time to say sayonara to it and to you guys as well. We'll see you next time.